The consequences of challenging law enforcement. One essential component of civil freedoms in democracies is opposing law enforcement. It is the declaration of personal freedoms and the call for responsibility from those in charge of enforcing the law. However, for individuals who dare to defy power, such challenges can have serious consequences, both short and long-term. In this discussion, we explore the various ramifications that can occur when people decide to oppose police enforcement. The act of contesting or opposing police acts can have far-reaching consequences in one's life, ranging from social to legal. Comprehending these ramifications is of utmost importance, not just for the individuals immediately engaged, but also for the broader community, as it pertains to the intricate equilibrium between personal liberties and upholding law and order. We hope to clarify the nuances surrounding interactions between the public and law enforcement by looking at these outcomes. By doing this, we seek to promote a more thorough comprehension of the difficulties involved in handling these kinds of interactions, and to start a productive conversation about how to protect civil rights while guaranteeing everyone's safety and justice. When someone challenges law enforcement, they could have to deal with the following possible outcomes. 1. Legal repercussions. Legal repercussions may arise from defying law enforcement if activities are thought to be illegal. Charges including resisting arrest, obstruction of justice, and unruly behavior may fall under this category. When obstruction occurs, it can impede the pursuit of justice or inhibit law enforcement. If found guilty, it can result in misdemeanor or felony penalties. Similar legal consequences may follow from other forms of resisting arrest, such as engaging in physical conflict or defying orders. Disruptive actions in public are considered disorderly conduct and can result in misdemeanor charges that include fines or short jail sentences. Depending on the situation, someone may also be charged with other offenses, including violence or trespassing. Self-defense is one legal defense that can be used, but it's important to have qualified legal advice first. In order to reduce the likelihood of unfavorable legal outcomes, it is crucial to comprehend legal boundaries and potential repercussions when confronting law enforcement. Although people are free to contest perceived injustices, following the law and getting the right legal advice are essential to handling these kinds of situations successfully. 2. Physical confrontation. There is always a chance that a challenge to law enforcement could turn into a physical altercation, which could be dangerous for the individuals involved, as well as the law enforcement officers. In confrontational circumstances, tensions can quickly escalate, particularly when emotions are running high and communication is difficult. These interactions may result in physical altercations, putting people at risk for harm, trauma, or even death. The possibility of violence is increased when law enforcement responds with force to retain control or make an arrest in response to perceived or actual acts of resistance. Both parties' physical safety and well-being are at risk during these interactions. Police personnel trying to impose compliance may immediately threaten to hurt people who defy them, and cops themselves run the risk of getting hurt while handling heated situations. Furthermore, using more force can have long-lasting effects on the public's trust in police enforcement, as well as legal and psychological fallout. In order to reduce the likelihood of a physical altercation and guarantee the safety of all parties involved, it is necessary to approach such issues cautiously and look for peaceful solutions wherever feasible, even though standing up for one's rights and holding law enforcement officials responsible are fundamental civil liberties principles. 3. Defecation and arrest. If one's activities are thought to be in violation of the law, resisting law enforcement actions may result in arrest and incarceration. Law enforcement officials have the right to arrest and detain someone whose actions they believe to be illegal, starting a procedure that may lead to additional legal actions. Arresting someone can have serious, instant repercussions since it takes away their freedom and exposes them to the criminal justice system. People who are arrested may be detained, processed at a police station, and or taken to a detention facility while they wait for formal charges or bail hearings. Detention exposes people to possible legal repercussions in addition to the loss of their freedom. They can be subject to criminal accusations, court hearings, and the potential for conviction, which could mean jail time, fines, or probation. Furthermore, being arrested and placed in custody may be a psychologically taxing and socially stigmatizing experience that negatively impacts people's personal and professional lives. As a result, even if it is a fundamental right to object to police acts, people must also think about the possible repercussions of their actions and be ready to handle any ensuing legal proceedings. They should also consult legal counsel to make sure their rights are upheld at all times. 4. Attorney fees. Defying law enforcement may incur high legal expenditures, such as attorney fees, court charges, and possible fines or reparations if found guilty of any crimes. To handle the intricacies of the judicial system and put up a strong defense against accusations made by law enforcement, legal counsel is frequently required. Obtaining the services of seasoned criminal defense lawyers can be very expensive, particularly when dealing with lengthy or intricate legal cases. Individuals may also have to pay filing fees, expenditures for gathering evidence, and expert testimony, among other court-related expenses. The cost of contesting law enforcement actions is further increased if a person is found guilty of a crime and faces penalties from the court or restitution obligations to victims. As a result, people need to be ready for the financial consequences of standing up for their rights and objecting to the actions of law enforcement. 5. Social stigma. By influencing public opinion and media coverage, challenging law enforcement may lead to social stigma or unfavorable impressions within the community. People who object to police actions run the risk of being called troublemakers or agitators, especially if the media or other community members depict them negatively. Ostracism, poor relationships, or even revenge from people who support law enforcement might result from such stigma. Furthermore, questioning authority could be interpreted as impolite or aggressive, intensifying unfavorable opinions. People who oppose law enforcement may therefore experience negative social effects, such as trouble finding work, poor relationships with others, or marginalization in their community. While it's important to exercise one's rights, people also need to be mindful of the possible social repercussions and approach such situations carefully, taking into account their relationships and overall social position. 6. Reprieve or retaliation. People who challenge police enforcement may run the danger of facing backlash or punishment, depending on the situation and type of challenge. Law enforcement or related organizations may occasionally use punitive tactics, like harassment, monitoring, or unjustified legal scrutiny in response to alleged disobedience. Subtle types of retaliation include marginalization, blacklisting, or consequences for one's career. Furthermore, people who object to police operations could be the target of pressure or intimidation, which could increase their stress or anxiety levels. People may be discouraged from speaking out about perceived injustices or abuses of power out of fear of retaliation, which can contribute to a culture of silence and impunity. Therefore, before confronting law enforcement, people should carefully consider the possibility of reprisal and take the necessary precautions to protect their rights and safety. 7. Prolonged legal consequences. Legal repercussions from defying law enforcement may endure a lifetime, especially if the challenger is found guilty of any crimes stemming from the interaction. Such convictions can result in a criminal record, which can have a substantial effect on a person's ability to travel, find work, and maintain their social standing, among other areas of their life. Many employers run background checks, and having a criminal record might make it more difficult to get hired in the future or cause you to lose your current work. People with criminal histories may also have trouble getting a job, a loan, or a professional license. Furthermore, a criminal record can make it more difficult to go abroad because certain nations have severe admission restrictions for people with a criminal history. Therefore, in order to lessen the impact on their future opportunities and means of subsistence, people should carefully evaluate the possible long-term consequences before opposing law enforcement and consulting with legal counsel. While people have the right to object to law enforcement acts they feel are unfair or illegal, it's vital to remember that doing so must be done in a way that is legal, polite, and non-violent. Effective negotiation of such circumstances can be facilitated by obtaining legal counsel and being aware of one's rights and obligations. In conclusion, challenging law enforcement entails a myriad of potential consequences, both immediate and far-reaching. From legal repercussions and physical altercations to social stigma and long-term legal ramifications, individuals must carefully weigh the risks before opposing authority. Furthermore, the threat of retaliation or reprisal from law enforcement or associated entities underscores the importance of approaching such challenges with caution and seeking legal guidance. While exercising one's civil liberties is fundamental to democracy, it must be done within the bounds of the law and with an understanding of the potential consequences. By fostering a deeper understanding of the complexities surrounding interactions between individuals and law enforcement, we can promote dialogue on how to uphold civil rights while ensuring public safety and justice for all. Remember, effective negotiation of such circumstances can be facilitated by obtaining legal counsel and being aware of one's rights and obligations. Thank you for watching. Would you like it? Hit the like button and subscribe to our channels for more interesting and informative videos.